Hey everyone, this is Crystal and I am back with week 26 in my Project Life album. I have all my pictures ready to go. I have quite a few for this week. For supplies, I am using a few cards from the most recent Studio Calico kit. This is the digital kit, so they recently had a digital sale where you could get any of their digitals for $1. I picked up the first 6 months of this year in digital kits, or digital cards, and I've just chosen a few of them. Just some of my favorites and some kind of in the same colors that I thought might work for this spread, and I will trim these out and figure out where I want to use them. And then I just pulled from my stash to kind of go with that. So I have some little tiny heart stickers from an old Studio Calico kit. I have some labels from various companies. I have some Pink Fresh Studio vellum or acetate, that is, embellishments. I have some stickers from Ellie Edwards, some chipboard from an old Studio Calico kit, some alphas from old Studio Calico kits. I did also grab some black puffy stickers. These are from Citrus Twist, and a couple stamps as well from Citrus Twist, just in case I want to do any more title work that I'm not able to do with the letters that I have left on these 3 sheets. So that's what I'm going to be using. I'm going to go ahead and trim out the cards and get started. So like I said, these are cards from the June Studio Calico kit, the digital cards. And I just picked out a few of them. You get them in PNG format. I just threw them into a Photoshop document and chose a few that I thought would work with this spread, a few of my favorites, a few that worked with the pictures that I had for this week. And then I just print them out on my home printer. I use a pretty heavy-duty cardstock. I actually have a video that talks about how I print things at home, so I'll be sure to link that here. And then I do use 2 trimmers to trim them out, just because I'm not real crazy about how that larger trimmer works to kind of get the fine details and to get it to the exact right size. It also doesn't have a 4-inch mark, so I just grabbed my little guillotine trimmer to finish those out. And once those are done, I can start putting the spread together. So I knew that I wanted to use the 2 4x6 cards that I had printed out here in those 2 spots, and then it was just a matter of deciding which of the 3x4 cards I wanted to use here. So I had a couple options. I kind of thought this through ahead of time to figure out which cards I might want to use. So I knew that there would be a couple options for each of the spots, and now it's just down to picking which one works best and how the whole page looks once it's all together. I'm pretty happy with this right here, so I'm going to stick with that and start working on embellishing. So I grabbed these acetate pieces from Pink Fresh Studio, and originally I had thought I would add some on top of the photos because I really like the look of acetate on top of photos, but these were all really too big to fit onto the photos that I had for this week. So I ended up just using 2 of them on 2 of the cards. I have the "That's How I Roll" piece at the top there, and then "Oh Yeah" at the bottom. Moving on to the chipboard that I had chosen, I had really hoped to use up a bunch of this chipboard. I have a ton of these small chipboard embellishments from old Studio Calico kits that are just kind of sitting around, so trying to get those used up. I've chosen quite a few, actually. I think I have 4, 5 maybe on this spread, so I end up using all of those. And then I grabbed the rest of the embellishments, some stickers, some labels. I know that I'm going to need some labels to be able to add my journaling onto my cards here. I should also apologize for the glare that's on this page. So I am not filming this at home. I was actually at my mom's house, and she has a gorgeous sewing room in her house, and I kind of took over her sewing room for a few days and filmed a bunch of videos while I was there. But I, of course, did not remember to turn off the overhead light, so there is a bit of glare there. I did eventually figure it out, although not in this video, so there will likely be a few more videos that have some nasty glare, but yeah, hopefully it's not too distracting. Okay, so I used just my tiny attacher to add the acetate to that card. Any adhesive that I had with me I knew would show through, so I figured the tiny attacher was the way to go. Then I just added a label at the bottom there and a little chipboard piece to kind of tie in all the colors of the spread. And then I'm doing the same thing here with this picture, adding a little chipboard piece and a label, just layering them up and running them off the page so they kind of interact with the edges and trimming that bit off. For this one, I had sized my photo to fit in this spot. So before I printed out these cards and before I printed out my photos, I had a bit of a planning session, more than I normally do anyway, and figured out what size the photo needed to be to fit into this blank space. So I did plan that out ahead of time. I did know I was going to use that here. And then it's just a matter of figuring out what embellishments will work on top. So there's that tiny little chipboard camera and that flag that I think says cheers. It's hard to read on my little screen here, but I think that's what it says. For this one, I wanted to add a bit of a title. This is just a screenshot of our local news informing us of the Saharan dust storm that was coming our way. So I wanted to add just a little "Are you freaking kidding me?" title because we were in the midst of quarantine and so much was happening, and then we also get a dust storm. So yeah, not fun times. So I just used those. These are just cardstock alphas from previous Studio Calico kits. I was a subscriber several years back, and then right after I stopped subscribing, I bought a bunch of kits on sale. So I have a lot of Studio Calico supplies in my stash, and I don't always use them because I have so many other things. So this was a great opportunity to try and get some of those things used up. I generally have a hard time using Studio Calico kits as kits, but I do like a lot of the individual elements that come in them. So I really like their cards, which is why I buy them digitally now. And I do like using the chipboard and some of the alphas. I just generally had a hard time using them as a whole kit for some reason. But it feels good to get some of these items actually into my albums. So for that little chipboard piece, I did peel off some of the backing. I didn't for all of these, but I did for a few, just where I thought it looked a little bit two-dimensional, and thought it might work better if I peeled off some of the layers. And then I used some tape, some double-sided tape from scrapbook.com. It's the 3/4 inch double-sided tape. I've been using it like crazy. I'm normally not a fan of double-sided tape like that comes on a roll, but this stuff peels off really easy. Like the backing paper peels off really easy, so it's not as frustrating as other ones that I've had in the past. I've had some American Crafts and some cheaper stuff that I got online, and just was frustrated with all of those, but this stuff works so well, and I found myself really grabbing it instead of my tape runner a lot of the time, just because it's a lot less expensive than my tape runner is, and for little things like that, especially on chipboard, my tape runner doesn't work real well anyway. So yeah, I've been using that a lot more and really enjoying it. So I added a label to my title card and just spelled out week 26 with the puffy alphas from Citrus Twist Kits, and then I did grab this week stamp set, thinking that there are a few small words and phrases on here that might work, so I'm not going to use any of the big week or month stamps, but there are several little things that I thought would be nice to just kind of sprinkle around this page. So I'm just adding a few more finishing touches, making sure I use all of the chipboard and stickers that I really wanted to. I will come back and add some of those tiny heart stickers, kind of like enamel dots, here in a little bit, but right now I want to get some stamping done. So I just grab a black ink that I brought with me. This is VersaFine Onyx Black. I didn't want to add any more color to the spread. It's already very colorful. So I'm just going to grab black ink and a little mat. That's actually a little stitching mat from Amy Tangerine. It's super old, but it works really well as a stamping mat to get really good, crisp images, which is something I learned from Shannon. So thank you, Shannon, for showing me that. Okay, so just adding a little hay above the week, and then my week stamps And that's going to be it for the title page, keeping that one super simple. And then I'm going to add some stamping to a couple of the other labels that I have on this page as well. I didn't have a lot of journaling to add here. I don't have a lot to say. I will do a little bit of handwritten journaling off camera, so you'll see that in the close-up photos, but I didn't have a huge amount of journaling. So I just decided to use some stamps on a couple of the labels to fill those in. And I really kind of like the graphic nature of the black stamping on all of this colorful embellishment that's happening all around it. So that's it for stamping. I'm just going to add a couple of these little tiny hearts. I do grab my tweezers to do that. They are really small, so to be able to get them in the spot where I want them to go, I knew I would need to use a tweezers to do that, and then that's going to be it. So there are some close-up photos coming up. If you have any questions about anything I've done or anything I've used here, be sure to leave them in the comments below, and I will definitely get back to you. I hope that you were able to find some inspiration in this video. If so, then please do give it a thumbs up. That lets me know that you like what I'm doing and that I should do more of it. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the little bell to get notified when I upload new videos. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you back here soon.